Hey, what's up, everybody? So today we are going to be going over what is your horse. I've been seeing a ton of questions in the Zed Discord about, looking at your horse, trying to figure out what the different things mean. So we're going to go over exactly that. We're going to do it on a couple different platforms. So most people are buying their horses off the secondary market right now. So this is going to be OpenSea. This is where you see your horse at. Every photo from this screen. You can see a couple different things. You can see your price history. So as you can see, I bought this horse back on July 1st for 0.2. Anytime it's ever been listed, or if it's currently listed and if the price has been reduced, horse has been transferred, all that kind of stuff. Any offers currently on the horse. You have your views, who owns it, how many times it's been favorited. And then if you click this right here, it will transport you to the horse on Zed, like so. So here's the horse on Zed. Okay. So we'll go over that here in a second. While you're still on OpenSea, the other thing that you can look at is your properties. This is going to tell you your bloodline, your breed type, your coat color, and kind of break down the different percentages of all that kind of stuff. Right now, these percentages really don't mean a lot. I know in other NFT projects, especially when they have a definite amount, if there's 10,000 only, if there's 3,000 only, these traits, percentages really mean a lot. For Zed Run, it doesn't mean a lot at all because there's so many horses being bred. So these numbers are going to fluctuate, they're going to be skewed, and they're always going to be changing. And really, the how many are fillies versus whatnot, it doesn't really matter that much. We'll be going over the difference between a filly and a mare, Colt and Stallion, so just wait a minute. The date or the birthday, this is the only place that I know you can actually find it. If there's another place, please tell me in the comments. This is the only place that I know of. This is your breed cycle. So everyone talks about, when does my horse open back up for breeding? When can I put my horse back in the stud? All those things. Whatever your day is, the 29th, that is your 30-day breed cycle. So you're also going to have to pay attention to how many days there are in each month, because, that's going to, add or subtract a day or two. But this is it. So June 29th. So 30 days from June 29th, I will be able to breed this horse. Now, while we're on the topic of breeding, really quick, female horses can breed once a month. That's it, just one time. Male horses get 3 stud slots. But in order for you to breed your male horse, you have to put it out to stud for the entire public. Which means anybody can breed with your horse. So if you want to use all 3 slots, you got to be quick, because you don't know who's waiting to snatch up either a specific horse or a horse within your price range in the stud barn. So it's something to think about when you're putting your horse up stud. And we'll go into details of breeding in another one, but right now, that's all you need to know. Of course, your brief description, the details, contract address, token ID. These are things that you're going to need if you ever need to put in a ticket for Zed Run. Say, something needs to be looked at on your horse, the transaction didn't look right. This is blockchain. Once the transaction is complete, there's no takebacks. But if you have an issue, like they have been for the last, since they opened breeding back up, to where either a breed reset didn't happen on the date, 30 days, or it says, that you have no stud covers left, they need your contract address, the token ID, and then they're also going to need your personal wallet address. So just a heads up, it's a really quick place to get all this information, because you're already on OpenSea, your wallet address is going to be attached to your MetaMask if that's what you're using, so on and so forth. And then down here at the bottom has the entire transaction history of the horse. So this horse was minted 18 days ago, was listed, was canceled, he dropped the price, I bought it, and now mine, transferred to me. Alright, so when you get to Zed Run and you're looking at your horse or another horse, you have your bloodline. Okay, there's 4 different bloodlines: Nakamoto, Zabo, Finney, Buterin. The 4 bloodlines is linked to the purity of the racehorse. We don't know what that means. Historically, Nakamoto's do outperform, the other tiers. They're supposed to be the most pure racers, or they have the most pure bloodline. We still don't know what that means. So they are the most expensive by far, though. On drop price, you could get a Buterin Genesis horse, a Z10, for roughly $200 or just under $200. And I think the cheapest Nakamoto, a Z2, was 15, 20,000. I think the Z1s were almost 40. So it is pretty solidified that Nakamotos are going to be the superior horses through breeding and racing and everything else. There's only 2,000 Nakamotos and only 2,000 Zabos, so there are more rare as well. But this is where you find your bloodline when you're in Zed Run. Okay. The gen or generation is going to have your Z number, which is your genotype, and then also your, I think this is considered breed type. It's breed type. So the way these work is whenever you breed two horses, as you can see, here's the parents from Cheeks. This is the first horse I purchased. You're going to combine the two Z numbers. This is a Z2 and this is a Z9 to make the new Z number, so Z11. That's how it works. For the Genesis horses, Nakamoto's are going to be Z1 and 2. These Abos are going to be Z3 and 4. Finney's are 5, 6, and 7. And Buterins or Buterin, or however you want to say it, is 8, 9, and 10. And I think that kind of reflects, the purity. So we don't know how much all that plays into it yet. I don't think there's very many Z100s in Class 1. But we do know there's a lot of, Z1 through 4s in Class 1. Now, this here, your breed type, come over here to the DNA. This is the Getting Started Racehorse DNA. You have your Genesis, which are the original horses that Zed Run, has been dropping and releasing as promos. There's there's a limited number of those. Once those are gone, they're gone. They only can be purchased. They cannot be created. Now you have the Genesis, the Legendary, Exclusive, Elite, Cross, and Pacer. Now this is a way to distinguish how close to the original bloodline it is. Also, there's a interesting mechanic here in Zed Run where the females at the exclusive level, when bred with a Genesis male, keep their status at whatever they are. So if you breed an exclusive female with a Genesis male, it produces an exclusive foal. Now, we don't know yet what any of this means. Traditionally, legendaries are more valued than exclusives. Exclusives are more valued than elites, cross, pacer, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, the thing that matters most for horse value is racing performance. So, I've seen some elite Buterins sell for, 3, 4, 5 ETH because they're very good racehorses. Now, how all that breaks down in racing performance, we don't know yet. We don't know. Right now, the majority of the most dominant racehorses are the Genesis horses. There is some really good, high-winning, bred horses, but if you take all the bred horses and line them up against all the Genesis win more often. Once again, there is a couple fringe cases, but as of right now, in the current state of the game, in mid-July of 2021, that's just the way it is. Then you have your gender, okay? So, male horses are colts and stallions. Let me switch over to some of my males here. All right, so here we have a colt. This is Purple Palace. Just picked him up today. Now he is a colt. What that means is he is yet to be bred. He has no offspring. His offspring 0. If you come down here, all you see is parents. If it was a Genesis horse, you wouldn't have parents. That's the easiest way if you're having troubles navigating. Click on a horse, there's no parents column, it's Genesis horse. There's parents, it's been bred. If it has offspring, as soon as this horse has offspring, it will transition from a colt to a stallion. The only difference between a colt and a stallion is one has been bred, colts have not, and stallions have. Now, same thing for your mares and your fillies. Because Cheeks has yet to been bred, she is still a filly. But then if we come over here to Fusion Light is a mare, which means she has an offspring in the offspring column. Okay? That simple. So don't get tripped over, what's better, what's not. A lot of people like the unbred horses because, one, it gives them the ability to keep the bloodline in-house, because there's different theories with inbreeding and everything else. So if you get to control the bloodline and, you don't get any, crossbreeds in there, or horses that you don't want in it, it's a huge thing, down the line for pedigree and bragging rights and everything else, especially if you have a horse that you have a very distinct plan with. Keeping all that in-house really gives you an opportunity to kind of control the outcome, and if you figure out how to get gun racers out of it, you get to keep them all, right? So that is the only difference. Mares and stallions have been bred, colts and fillies are virgins. That's simple. So we're going to go back to Cheeks since we've been using Cheeks as the primary example. So you have your coat color. Once again, offspring 0, so she's still a filly. You have how many races have entered, your career stats, and your win rate. So she has yet to win a race. She loves coming in second place, though. It's quite hilarious and obnoxious at the same time. And then you have quick stats on the parents and on the offspring. So you can see, her parents were both 10+% winners over several races. So that's why she got picked. But yeah. So then the other tool we're going to look at is what I do is I just double click here, hit copy. If you're on mobile, same difference. I already have it pulled up. What you do is you put in the name here, hit search, and then the stats on the horse will come up. Now what you can't see on here, which is frustrating, is you can't see what class the horse is in. And class matters to an extent. The lower class you are with higher results, the more profitable your horse is going to be. And because at the end of the day, if a horse wins, 4, 5, 6, 7 races in a row, it's probably going to class up, which means it's going to be up against competition that should, in theory, be stronger. Right now, the class system's slightly broken, so it's not 100% true. But here, you have your name, picture of the horse, the Z number, it's a legendary Buterin. Now this right here is class 3. This is how many points it has in this current class. Okay, so this number gets to a certain point, class is up. If it gets too low, class is down. First through 4th or 5th, I don't know a ton about racing yet, so I apologize, but I do know 1st through 4th, you get significant positive points. And I believe, could be wrong, 5th, 6th, and 7th are kind of neutral, and then 8th and lower, you lose significant points. So when you come down here to, final positions, when they talk about the U, you have a lot of 1s, a couple 2s, almost no 3s, none of this, and then you'll kick back up a couple of 10ths, and then a lot of 11ths and 12ths. What that does is if you win as much as you lose, like first place to last place, helps keep your horse locked in where it's at so it can race the best possible competition without having to worry too much about going up. But then it shows, once again, your races, how many you've won, your places, your shows. Kind of breaks down what that is. How much you paid in entry fees, how much you've won, your profit in ETH, and then your ROI, or how much money you've made or lost based on your winnings against your entry fees. So right now I'm at negative 26%, because you just don't win as much money for coming in second and third, which Cheeks does a lot. I'm not going to go into a ton of this. This is a little bit more detailed about your horse, but I just want to go, show everybody how you can kind of identify your horse and do that quick, dive in. What is my horse? What does it all mean? So that's the basics behind that. We'll go more into, the details of the different class or the different types of horses, the different breed types, bloodlines, and all that. But I just kind of want everybody to have a quick understanding of what that looks like.